Hi folks, I'm hoping to upload this just kind of raw and unedited, so please forgive me if there are any issues with the file. Um, so if you haven't been made aware of this, there is a fan-created Godzilla analog horror series on YouTube called The Man in the Suit. It's been making its way around. It's been picked up by bigger creators like Game Theory Live or GT Live, which is actually how I came across it for the first time. I didn't hear about it anywhere else. I watched the video, the first episode, and thought, okay, like, interesting stuff, but it wasn't for me. And I sort of moved on with my life. But apparently the creator is relatively young. We don't know how young because that information is very well guarded on the internet these days. But the person admittedly says, I'm just a kid and I can't stand this. And can't stand refers to the amount of hate mail and apparently death threats that this person is receiving from the people that have watched this series and just don't really vibe with it. One of the best pieces of advice that I ever received, I think, I, I really liked it, was to be brave enough to be bad at something new. And it's this idea that as you go through life, there are new challenges, new journeys that you go on, and you're not always going to be good at it. And quite often, you're not going to be good at it at first, but the important bit is to keep trying. Like, be brave enough to be bad, but at least you've done it, right? At least you've given it a shot, and it takes time to get better at these things. Now, I didn't really care for the man in the suit. It wasn't my cup of tea. But that's not to say that I think this person should stop. I think that they should keep going, and I think that they should be given constructive criticism from the people that enjoy this flavor of content. Godzilla analog horror. It's a really tricky thing for me to wrap my head around, and maybe that's why it didn't resonate very strongly with me. But for the folks who are into this kind of stuff, like, providing constructive criticism is how these people get better at what they're trying to do. That being said, what do you stand to gain from sending such hateful messages to a kid? Like, that's just really gross behavior. And maybe you're sitting there thinking, like, oh, I didn't know it was a kid. If it was a kid, I would have been, I would have said things differently. And, I don't really get that because kids and adults should be treated the same way. And that's with some human fucking decency. I just don't understand how you can send so much hatred toward this guy that he decides that he's going to go on an indefinite hiatus and may not make other videos. I've seen a couple folks talk about the new Godzilla X Kong trailer and talking about how, this movie might not be for them, but hopefully this movie inspires the next generation of Godzilla fans in the way that the Showa, Heisei, at this point even Millennium films, inspired us as kids. This is the next generation. This is the next generation. Can you imagine if you had raised your kid on Godzilla movies? They were feeling really, really great about it, the same way that you did as a kid. And they decided to start making their own YouTube content just to receive hateful comments, death threats. Like, that is some fatherless behavior. That is some motherless behavior. I feel so sorry for the people that are doing this because I don't know what pain you're experiencing in your life that you need to throw it on to a kid like this. It's disheartening. And I think that, I'm just going to say, the Godzilla community is probably going to disown you. You're not part of this community. If you're doing shit like this, you don't have to like the content. You don't have to like the Godzilla, the man in the suit. You don't have to like the genre analog. You don't have to like any of it. But it costs nothing to just go on with your day, to act like it doesn't really exist. The people who like it, they'll consume the content, they'll provide that constructive criticism, and you just move on. That's it. I don't understand. So, to the folks that are perpetuating this, I've got nothing else to say. You're gross. This is unacceptable, man. To the creator who makes this, unknowingly, I am so sorry that you have to deal with this. This is not what this community should be. And I gotta say that I think the most prominent members of this community, I think, will stand by you 100%. Even if we don't care for the content, even if we don't like analog horror, like, I would love to see you thrive in the Godzilla fandom. I would love to see any Godzilla content creator thrive. We all stand to gain if any one of us succeeds. So, unknowingly, again, I'm so sorry. If there's anything I can do to help you, I'm not to say I'm somebody who is an expert in anything. I'm still trying to figure this out, but if there's anything I can do to help, I would love to, because I think we all stand to gain with good Godzilla content, either official or fan created. I think all of us stand to gain. So, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. So, I'm going to link the creator's information in the YouTube description down below. If you can go send him some love, I'm sure he would appreciate that. And, yeah, I'll have a video up tomorrow. Sorry to have such a bit of a Debbie Downer video, but I felt that this was a really important topic to talk about, and it really just kind of hurts my soul to see people struggling like this needlessly. Just the cruelty that either this fan base or just fan bases in general can have. I think we need a lot less of it, and I think that it needs to be called out when it happens. So, yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you again soon.